Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my first video on this channel, and the book I want to talk about is The Fault in Our Stars. This is the first book I have read recently, and this is going to be my first YouTube channel, so this one's going to be my first book. I read plenty of other books, but this is the first time I've ever decided to go on YouTube and talk about it. I want to thank Book Talk and everybody else for inspiring me to do this because I love talking about books. I'm obsessed with books. Um, so we'll get more into that later. But for right now, let's get into The Fault in Our Stars. This book is a beautiful book. It has an emotion of roller coasters. If you love to know about young love and coming of age stories, this one is a really good book to start. It's not that big and it's not that long. I finished it in one day, not in one sitting because I have a busy life, but I finished it all in one day and I cried. I cried. I don't normally give a rating 10 out of 10. I normally do 5 out of 5, but this one being such a first book that I am doing, I decided to rate it 10 out of 10. Because the reason being, one of the quotes in here says, I'm living on a life of a roller coaster, or something like that. I can't really do it justice, but it's such a good quote. I really loved it. The messaging in this book is so good. You fall in love with two characters. You have Gus and Hazel. Gus, you find out that he also has cancer, but his cancer was stopped or saved by amputating his leg. And then you have Hazel. Hazel's cancer, I couldn't really quite understand what her cancer is, but it's cancer. She has to breathe through a breathing tube and stuff like that. So she's more like, it is what it is. I'm fine with it. Whereas Gus is like, it is what it is, but I want to live life to the fullest. I want to live life by pretending by smoking cigarettes and and just being able to enjoy life even when it doesn't seem possible. It could always be possible. It's such a beautiful, it's not a romance. It's definitely not a romance. I can't label it a romance because there is some romance in here, but it's more like young love turning into true love. And that is something that you will discover if you read this book or have read this book. Such a good book. I don't normally rate books 10 out of 10. I normally just do 5 out of 5, but this book, being the first book that I read for this YouTube channel, like I said, it is going to be 10 out of 10. And it's such a really good book. I can't stress that enough. I enjoyed the ending of the book. I enjoyed the middle. I enjoyed the beginning. Everything from just, I'm not going to show you too much, but I am just going to show you pages of, like, I think the chapter I really did enjoy is mostly the ending chapter, which is chapter, I think I just passed it. It's the very ending chapter where Hazel finds out that her boyfriend who died, he wrote a letter to one of Hazel's favorite authors and basically forced him to he basically forced her to give her the true ending that she deserved, and that he will forgive him if he comes to his funeral and repent, basically. And he basically said that I'll forgive you if you do that. Spoiler alert: Gus dies. The way that he goes is truly sad. I have lost my grandma. She didn't die of cancer. She just died of old age. She had diabetes, so it was rough losing her. And then hearing about how Hazel was going through her process of losing Gus, it just opened that wound. and it just, I was bawling. I couldn't finish the story, but when I got to the ending, it was more of like we didn't get the ending. She didn't really get the ending that she wanted um in her book that her author wrote, but we did get a sense of our ending for what we want for Hazel, because like I said, the book end, well, I didn't say, but um after Gus dies, Hazel is just living through life. She doesn't feel like she can go on without Gus. She's just like, I want it to, she doesn't want death to take her, but she does say that she doesn't want to leave her parents feeling like they have nothing besides her. She doesn't want to be that grenade in her family's life. So she decided to go visit one of Gus's best friends, and he tells her that Gus was writing letters to her favorite author, and that gives her like the burst of energy that she needed, so she wanted to go look for him. She couldn't find him. She asked Gus's parents. They couldn't say anything about it until one day they called her and said he was keeping a journal at the side of his bed. We found the journal, but there's pages missing, so he might already sent them. We don't know what he did with them. We never seen them. So she ends up corresponding with her favorite author's assistant, and she tells her about the letters, and and the assistant gets back to her and says, yes, he sent the letters. I sent it to you through your email already. I haven't read the letters. I forced your favorite author to read the letters, and he read them, and he basically said, send them. There's nothing for me to change. It's all perfect. So we get to read the letter that Gus sent, and it's such like a heartwarming ending, because he's basically saying that his girlfriend is the most amazing person in the world, even though she doesn't believe she is. She's very smart, even though she believes she doesn't. She doesn't pretend to be somebody that she's not. She's the kind of person that will um sorry. She's the kind of person that will be true to who she is. She's very funny, she's very smart, she's very charismatic. She is just an amazing girl. And that's one of the reasons why I rate this book 10 out of 10. It is such a good book. I am obsessed with it. I will continue to have this book on my bookshelf. Another cool thing about this book is that I've never read this book when it came out. I just started reading it yesterday. I never felt like I would ever enjoy a book like this. Um, I never knew what the book was truly about. I've heard that it was good. That's the only thing that I heard. I didn't hear it had to do anything about kids with cancer. I didn't like Nobody told me the premise of the book. And that's one thing I like about books, is that when people recommend you books, they don't give you too much detail what the book is about. They just keep it very vague. I apologize for any spoilers. I don't know. I know this book is popular. I just don't know how popular it is right now. So if you are wanting to read this book, I'm sorry for the spoilers. Please forgive me. I will be more mindful on not spoiling too much. But it is such a really good book. If you love teen love and feeling hopeful and just feeling like you can relate to something, I feel like this is a good book. I don't relate to cancer. I don't have cancer, but I can relate to the premise of it being hopeful and just coming to age where, it is what it is as you grow up, but you could always do the impossible. Even you could always have the possibility of doing the impossible. And that's one of the things that I can relate to this book, because I tend to do things in my comfort zone. I don't really intend to do things outside of my comfort zone, but recently I have been getting into more and more out of my comfort zone with books. I have more books I want to talk to you about. I have a whole thing I want to have planned. But yeah, like, subscribe, share, and I hope you will read The Fault in Our Stars. I won't watch the movie. Unfortunately, I don't think I will be able to watch the movie. I might in the possible future, but I think for right now, I will stick with the book. The book just sells it for me. I don't feel like I'll be able to handle the movie. Um, but I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you watch the movie. If you do like the movie, please let me know. I would be willing to watch it, but I will need to watch it with a buddy. I don't think I'll be able to watch it by myself. Like I said, I cried so hard during this book. I don't think I ever cried as hard as I did with my other books. There are some books that I have in my collection that just make me bawl crying as I'm reading the books. But more on that later. I hope you read The Fault in Our Stars. Thank you, John Green, for such an amazing book. I truly enjoyed it. You guys have a good day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.